Welcome back to another episode of the Paradox Analyzer, and today we're gonna talk about Joe freaking Biden. Oh yeah. Since everyone is talking about politics, we was thinking it might be fun also to say our opinions. So...
Yes, it's all. We are not from America, no. We are just people in Europe who want to give you...
our opinion.
Yes, it's all.
What we think about this whole situation.
And I hope it's going to be fun and funny, Peter. I hope it's going to be funny. I hope it's going to be nice.
Calm down.
No.
Okay, I'm the analyzer, and she is...
My name is Numb.
Numb.
Yes, just Numb.
Alright, beautiful.
Thank you.
Anyway, as we know, in November they're gonna be the big election between
Orange Man Bad
and Joe freaking Biden. So who will win?
Biden?
Trump. You decide.
What?
We start off with the past from Uncle Joe, and there's a lot to talk here. So if you want to know if someone worked well, you always need to look at his past. What he did, what accomplishment he have done. What he have done?
Nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing. Not really much.
After 40 years in politics, do people know any accomplishments of his? Let's talk to them and find out. What do you view as Joe Biden's singular accomplishment you would point to?
I don't know of a specific accomplishment of his. I know that there are things that, he can put his name on and say, well, this was done when I was in office, this was done when I was in office.
I'll be honest with you, I'm drawing a blank on what he accomplished. I do know that he's fought for poor Americans.
Anything?
No. I don't know.
His accomplishments has been the healthcare program. He was, very instrumental with that.
I don't know if I have an answer for that.
So, he was 47 years in the government and he did nothing.
He was 47 years in the government, and people don't know what he did.
Why did he do this?
Let's ask Hunter Biden.
Yes, let's ask him.
And the other question is, could you quickly, I think
I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and, in fact, ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
In a nutshell, the president's plan doesn't include enough police officers to catch the violent thugs, not enough prosecutors to convict them, not enough judges to sentence them, and not enough prison cells to put them away for a long time. That's why right now, 6 out of every 10 criminals who are arrested on drug charges have their cases dropped. That's why we think the president should triple the commitment that he's made tonight for police, prosecutors, and judges for our cities and our states.
People with more police officers?
Yeah, he did a bill, like you could see. And that was for protect more people, with more policemen, more judges, more whatever.
Really?
And now he is against those people that he put in place.
logic?
No one understands what he say anyway, because what he say, he contradicts for no reason.
His memory had failed him.
It is the Democratic Party that has refused to allow people of the black race to prosper. They are the party of slavery in the past, and they still enslave blacks today. The 1994 crime bill, your boy Bill Clinton and your boy Joe Biden. Now, the official name of the crime bill is the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. It is the largest crime bill in the history of the United States that has provided for 100,000 new police officers, at costing $9.7 billion in funding for prisons and $6.1 billion in funding for prevention programs, which were designed with significant input from experienced police officers. The bill was originally written by Senator Joe Biden of Delaware, and then was passed by Congress and signed into law by President Bill Clinton.
He knows there are two basic steps here. One step is you must take back the streets. And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people.
We agree that we can redirect some of the funding.
Yes, absolutely. I not only don't want to defund the police, I'm the one calling for $300 million more for local police. I spent years writing what became known as the Biden crime bill. The Biden crime bill. The Biden crime bill. The Biden crime.
Financial incentives to keep people behind bars.
The Biden crime bill. The Biden crime bill.
The Biden crime bill is before us.
Biden crime bill. Biden crime bill.
Every major crime bill since 1976 that's come out of this Congress. Every minor crime bill has had the name of the Democratic senator from the state of Delaware, Joe Biden, on that bill. I like the idea they keep in jail longer.
You ashamed of that bill?
Not at all. Not at all.
And his VP isn't better.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. That would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Now let's take a look of things that he say more and less in the present, you know, in the last few years or so.
I sat with a guy yesterday on a telephone, and he's telling me, he said, I don't know. He said, look, I worked at the hospital. And he said, then I got myself in a position where I got the virus. So they quarantined me and they put me in the hospital, and I made it out. And so I'm out, but they don't want me with my family. I'm on the 3rd floor. I spent 15 minutes on the phone with him saying, he said, I have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. And they come to the door outside and they just knock on the door and say, Daddy, can I see you, Daddy? Can I see you, Daddy? So we spent time going through it. I used to do it with my kids when they were little and I couldn't see them, and we'd play games. I said, make up a game, knock on the door and say, this is, you know, practical things. The guy's scared to death.
Bruh.
And he's worried about his children. He's worried about his wife. I mean, these are practical things. And the president talks about this like, okay, it's going to be okay. We're going to open tomorrow. We're going to do this. I mean, it just, I must tell you, it drives me crazy. I don't know what he doesn't understand.
What? What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Well, Joe is a real gaffe machine. So let's take a look at some more, shall we?
You know, there's during World War
too, where Roosevelt came up with a thing that was totally different than it's called. He called it the World War II. He had the War Production Board. Well, I don't know why we don't set up something like a pandemic production board.
Really?
The Me Too movement has forced a cultural reckoning around the issue of sexual violence and harassment against women in America.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
Okay. Punching at it. Punching at it.
But the Taoiseach knows a lot about it. His mom lived in Long Island for 10 years or so. God rest her soul. And although your mom's still alive as your dad passed. God bless her soul.
Okay, his mom wasn't dead.
No, his father passed away. My brain.
Oh, it hurts.
Joe.
And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Oh. What's wrong with you?
It's disgusting.
See, I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself.
Did he say he prostituted himself?
Did he self calling him bitch? Yes, of course. That's the president.
Amazing. You guys choose very well.
No, don't do this. Oh, don't do this.
And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break.
Give me a break about what? You didn't do something about 47 years.
I think he had enough breaks.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
You know the thing.
No, I don't. What did he mean?
You know the thing.
The thing is what?
It's a movie, great movie by the way. The Thing.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
What the? By the way, I'm rich, okay? I'm rich.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I need a break.
Yeah, probably 47 years now.
47 years.
As also noted, Robert C. Byrd was a parliamentary library, a keeper of the institution of the Senate, and he was the institution itself. But to me, for a lot of us, he was a friend, and he was a mentor, and he was a guide.
It happened also suddenly, very unexpectedly, out of nowhere. I feel Joe Biden put his hands on my shoulders, get up very close to me from behind, lean in, smell my hair, and then plant a slow kiss on the top of my head. To have the Vice President of the United States do that to me so unexpectedly and just kind of out of nowhere, it was just shocking. It was shocking because you don't expect that kind of intimate behavior to touch you and to feel you and to be so close to you in that way.
I'm coming back. And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too.
The future.
So, what exactly Uncle Joe wants?
Well, he wants to raise taxes.
What?
I'm glad to see you're doing well already. And I'm good. But guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut, if you benefit from that.
Let's go, Joe! Let's go, Joe! This is what we deserve! Woo! Woo-hoo!
How about that, man? What do you think?
Okay.
We thought in our administration we should lower the tax from the high 30s to 28%, to lower to 21. I'm going to raise it back up to 28.
He has a memory problem, that's for sure. I mean, he can't even remember the name from his opponent. Or just any names, as it seems.
President, my boss. President, the last guy? The former head of the, anyway. Margaret Thatcher, excuse me, you had people like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany. This is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. All right, Chuck, thank you very much.
All right, it's Chris, but anyway.
When we're running against the senator who was a Mormon, the governor, okay? Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. 4 more years of Georgia, he is going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected...
His memory had failed him.
Bush? Abraham? He needs teleprompter and can't even read them.
Bonnie knows I believe this every fiber of my being. We're posed. What I propose is it can be done.
Stop the Cold War future that we're talking about. We're talking about a peaceful Cold War. What are we talking about?
Anyway, but look, one of the things that that I think is really important is that we somehow put that back on. There's somehow that we're in a situation where we work together. Put that back on. In this crisis, and always, we haven't done that. And fourth, you need premium pay. Congress has to pass a comprehensive premium pay plan that honors your heroism now, not yesterday. We needed yesterday. I unveiled a plan to strengthen our caring economy.
What?
And I would like to know, what will your administration do to help them give them that chance? Thank you.
Move it up here. You know, there used to be a basic bargain in this country, and in addition to that, we have to make sure that we.
Oh, look at that!
And that's I have that hanging. Introduce me. Am I on? Yes. Hey, good evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. I wish we could have done this together and it gone a little more smoothly. United States Senate is standing on the majority in the House of Representatives. That's why we need to send Barry back to Washington, D.C.
He has a history of lying, and his policy aren't good. He will ban fracking, oil, and raise taxes. That will lead to an increase in unemployment.
When I marched in the civil rights movement,
I was not out marching.
I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador.
I guess I wasn't arrested.
And it's the God's truth. My word is a Biden. He stood at attention. I went to pin him. I said, sir, I don't want the damn thing. Do not pin it on me, sir.
Almost every detail of that story, he told Friday, appears to be incorrect.
His memory had failed him.
Would you close down the oil
By
industry?
the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I will
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement
That's a
because
big statement.
I would stop.
Why would you do that?
Because the oil industry pollutes significantly.
Biden
I
to
have
respond.
never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in the Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated.
What about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline infrastructure and
no new fracking. You got to transition away from it. Look, you're going to ban fracking all across America right now, right?
I would love to.
Yeah, I'd love to too. I'd love to make sure we can't use any oil or gas, period. Look at my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel.
We're not going to get rid of fossil fuels.
I never told the environmentalists that I'm going to ban fracking, period.
So he has a history of bad deals. And beyond that, for almost 50 years, he almost did nothing.
Yes. Yes, it's so.
Is that it?
Yes. That's the point, that's the fact, and that's the next president, maybe.
I don't think so.
Yes.
You hope not?
No, it's no.
What we can be sure is that the scandal with his son Hunter Biden gonna be really interesting.
Oh really? I like good stories.
I think we should do a video about that.
Oh yes. Will we do?
We're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Anyway, I hope you liked the video and just subscribe.
Subscribe, yeah?
Yeah, subscribe.
Would be nice.
Yes, and share it with the whole world.
With your family.
Yes, with your neighbors.
Your grandparents.
With your dog.
Your cat. Your bird.
Yes, with all you know. Because the next one will be fun as well.
And don't forget to question everything.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order. And that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.